Welcome to the Coffee Conversation show powered by the Emerging India Forum TEIF and our tech partner, Prime Informatics Solution series, The Emerging Lawyer. Today's topic is the art of legal strategy from law books to the courtroom. We have with us our guest speaker, Apurv Sardeshmukh, partner M&A practice at Legal Logic Consulting. He's a seasoned corporate and sports lawyer with over a decade of experience in the legal profession. So welcome, Apurv, to today's special episode.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here and really grateful to you for calling me.
Yeah. So Apurv, I'll just give you basic guidelines. We have divided the coffee into three formats. One is your professional journey. Second is your personal journey. And third is a surprise round, that is a rapid fire round. Okay. So friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani, host at Coffee Conversation and a legal tech evangelist at Prime Informatics Solution. So Apurva, your first question. You have a niche of being a sports lawyer. So what got excited to start as a sports lawyer, and how has your interaction been with sports players?
So actually, there is no separate sort of field as such as sports law, particularly in India. In Europe and the United States, for instance, sports law is a very niche and very specific stream where there are bodies and regulators who actually deal with aspects only of sports law related to sports law. In India, it's still a upcoming field. There is no separate tribunal to deal with sports law matters, and so it's like any other contractual matter. Of course, in the last 6-7 years, and when I got into it, there are certain things that are coming into. So players' rights, players' image rights, protection of their intellectual properties, protection of the content that players create, and also contracts. So, you have the leagues now, so many leagues flourishing in India in different sports. So contracts and rights. So those kind of aspects came into it. I just got very lucky, to be very honest, Mr. Virani. I got lucky that a couple of people approached me to counsel them, to give them advice. I got lucky that they accepted my advice, and they found my advice to be worthy enough. So it's been fascinating. It's been, I'm a huge sports fanatic myself, so to be associated with some of these, although I'll be honest, if I have to divide my practice, I would say that about 25% is sports and 80% is general corporate. But that 25% is what has really fascinated me, and that sort of pushes me. I love being around sports and sports people, and it's been fascinating to sort of understand their mindset, to deal with their. I mean, these are sportsmen. They are sort of have their own sort of team off the field as well. So their managers, their representatives, to deal with them. It's been very fascinating, but generally it's been very good. It's also been a very learning experience. So I'll give you an example. When I first started representing one particular sportsman, I approached his agreement of contract as I would approach any other contract. But it sort of, while looking at it, while discussing it with this team, I came across, or I realized, many other facets to it. So it's been a learning experience as well. But just to be in that world for whatever, as a minor, sort of very minor player, but just to be in that world has been a very fascinating and a wonderful experience for me.
So my next question will be, since it's a niche area, sports lawyer for Indian sportsmen, how do they take to warm up to you? We were discussing about contracts, figures, all those things. The managers, sportsmen, so many, there are different set of people are involved working with you. So how has this segment warming up to a legal person?
So one thing which I have realized is, and again, my set or my bucket that I deal with is maybe not as significant as some of the others. But one thing I've realized is sometimes we tend to underestimate our sportsmen. The people that I have dealt with are very sharp, very clear as to what they want and what they don't want. And although the initial, discussions and all are with his managers and with representatives, when I am advising on certain things, or when I'm working with them on certain aspects or certain assignments, they are very, very clear as to, like, this is exactly what I want and this is what I don't want. So one thing is, they're very aware, in spite of sports and the field being their main domain area. They're very aware as to their rights. They're very aware as to how they need to protect themselves, how they can be exploited. So that's one thing. I think in cases that I have worked with, I've also been fortunate to be to sort of interact with teams of sportsmen slash, if I may use the term, celebrities who've been very forthcoming, very good to work with as well, who've been very clear as, again, in terms of what their representative would want and what not. So that becomes very simpler, because you then approach the celebrity or the sportsman only at the very last stage, when they just want to sort of dot the i's and cross the t's, so as to speak. So yeah, having a good team helps, and I think most of this elite sportsmen in India, at least today, why elite, any sportsmen in India are now having fairly good voices around them. So that helps as well.
That's very interesting. I hope you get to meet that, what do you say, sportsmen from different fields, because India is now becoming more sports country, different like IPL, so many leagues, football,
Absolutely,
kabaddi, so many
absolutely.
have become more commercial, and more
Right.
work should come to you.
God bless. Hopefully, God willing, hopefully.
Yeah, because that's why I said that you have selected a niche area.
Right.
So that is, so there will be very few sports lawyers in India and abroad, also very few was selected this kind of segment to work into. And we are very happy we are having this conversation with you to know about. And so I want to send a message to sportsmen out there. You have Apurv Sardeshmukh, who's an expert in this field. Do connect with him, and he will handle your rest of the things, because there are a lot of things have come up now. So many
Absolutely.
things.
Whether I'm an expert or not, Mr. Vidani, I don't know. But as you rightly said, we'll be happy to help. It's actually a wonderful, experience. Helping sportsmen is wonderful to and fascinating to get to know their work ethic and their mindset and their sort of how they deal with different aspects. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So coming to my next question will be, you said your 80% you focus on corporate. So what kind of corporate work do you focus on?
So I actually do a lot of work related to acquisitions and investments. So we have entities, whether they are startups, early stage, or early stage entities, or sort of mid to not so early stage companies looking for investments through capitalists, venture capitalists, private equity funds, and other funds. So I do a lot of work in terms of advising either the funds or the companies in terms of the investments. I do a lot of work in advising big companies in terms of their acquisitions and mergers, and also generally giving advice. India has a very vast regulatory regime, if I may use the word, in terms of corporate laws. There is the Companies Act. Our foreign exchange transactions are governed by the Reserve Bank of India and foreign exchange regulations. And, our companies who are listed on our stock exchange are regulated by what is called as the Securities Exchange Board of India, SEBI. So I sort of advise a lot of these entities into these various spheres and fields. Also, sometimes complex agreements, contracts, in terms of, their services and vendors and intellectual property and stuff like that. So when it comes to corporate law, anything to sort of, to put it very simply, I don't go to court, but help corporates in their non-litigation, non-court requirements first.
That's interesting. So now coming to your role as a partner at Legal Logic Consulting. So what areas do you focus on, and what is the vision for taking Legal Logic Consulting?
So Legal Logic, to just give you a background, was actually founded by three individuals, Mr. Vivek Sadle, Mr. Vikas Agarwal, and Mr. Sridhar Kulkarni. It is, in my view, one of the premier law firms in Pune, particularly in corporate, commercial, and corporate merger and acquisition practice areas. I actually joined Legal Logic early last year, but I am now, as you rightly said, a partner of the merger acquisition practice. And I just mentioned what I do. We are a 60-member law firm, and about 30 of them are dedicated to the merger acquisition practice who work with me. The vision, I think, what we are trying to do, honestly, I think if you are aware of the landscape, legal landscape, for a long time, Pune did not really have a law firm presence in corporate law. Pune has had a lot of lawyers, reputed lawyers in the litigation space. But for a long time, they did not have a law firm here. And I think what Legalogic is trying to do, we have a pan-India presence, of course. We have offices in various other parts of the state and the country. But what we're trying to do is we are headquartered in Pune and trying to service the requirements and needs of companies and corporates and even individuals who need corporate law advice in and around Pune. So that's the vision. The vision is, of course, to grow further. There are many, many top law firms across the country. We don't know whether we'll be able to reach that, but we hope to be there, and we hope to service clients and provide quality legal deliveries, in a sense, for legal advice. So while the reach and the quantum is subjective, at least whatever we have, we want to provide the best possible advice and make our clients happy in terms of the service that we provide.
Interesting. So we'll be glad there is a vision in place and there will be a growth for Legalogic Consulting. Now, Apurva, who are your mentors? Whom do you follow in the legal professional world?
Oh, so I think, in the legal, I was very lucky. Before I joined Legalogic, I worked for 11 years with a law firm called Legacy Partners. I was a partner of their Pune office as well. And my fellow managing partner there was Mr. Suhas Sulzapurkar, who basically, when I joined him, I was a Callow Raw associate. Whatever I am today, he has a huge role and huge influence in that, because he sort of gave me the freedom and the encouragement to set up a practice and take it forward from there. So he's obviously had a significant influence, been a significant influence. But I've been influenced by a variety of people. I can't really strictly say all of them are mentors as such. In fact, I was part of a firm which is one of India's top firms way back called AZB and Partners, and I had a chance to interact with the great Zia Modi then, who is the managing partner. And I've huge admiration in terms of her work ethic, in terms of how she has conducted herself and carried and established that law firm. Even before that, I worked with a law firm called Trilegal, and I had a partner called Mr. Sawan Singh, who's also someone who's had a fair amount of influence on me in terms of his work ethic and how he's conducting himself. Outside of law, if I may say, obviously I'm greatly influenced by my parents, my mother, my father, in terms of how I conduct myself. So, rather than having one mentor, I've been lucky that I've been influenced by a variety of people. Even at Legalogic currently, my fellow partners, Mr. Sadle, Mr. Agarwal, and Sridhar Kulkarni, there's a lot to learn from all of them in terms of how they conduct the day to day. So I've been lucky that there have been various influences. I've been very lucky that I've had a chance to watch some wonderful personalities from close range, and I've tried to sort of pick up good points from all of them.
That's interesting. So many people have impacted and your blessings of your parents. So that question was coming in personal, but you answered it professional. So now coming to my next question, how do you stay updated? Because in the legal world, so many things keep happening, evolving. So what is the strategy of keeping updated, and how do you ensure compliance and mitigate risks?
So that's a huge challenge, very honestly, because we are a country with such a vast regulatory network. We have so many regulators, so many laws, so many regulations. To keep up to date is a huge challenge. It's in fact much easier now, because every time a law has come into effect, or every time a law changes, you can get it online. You have, if you're on the social media, on Twitter or various websites, you get updates immediately. I remember I started out as a lawyer in 2005, and things were still better, but still, to get a regulation was a Herculean task then. This was just when internet was sort of starting. We didn't have it on our phones and stuff like that. And I don't even know how people prior to that kept themselves updated, before the internet age. But at least we are lucky in the sense that today you have the internet and information is easily accessible. you have to keep a lookout. You have to know where you're going to find information. And as a lawyer, in my view, there's no two ways about it. You have to try and keep yourself abreast with all the latest legal developments. I think there also has to be a realization that you won't know everything at all the time, but you just need to know that there is something that you need to look into if a situation that deals with that particular regulation comes into. So I think it's easier today because of the internet and the accessibility of information, and that helps. But I mean, it's a challenge still because of the huge volume of laws and regulations in our country.
Very true, very true. Now coming to my question will be on technology. With AI and advancement in legal tech, how has the experience been?
So technology is definitely helping. I mean, AI is still sort of in its nascent stage, particularly in the legal domain. There is. I mean, I keep meeting wonderful people who keep telling me that there is an AI developed program that they have created which helps research, and stuff like that. We ourselves here are trying to establish technology to help our outputs in terms of when we do diligence and stuff like that. But technology, for sure. I mean, without technology, you cannot move forward. And if you're moving forward without technology, then there's something wrong with it, because all it does eases your work, outputs or your work life. And I'm sure it's going to have a more significant influence as well. I think already, I'll give an example now earlier, and it's a very simple sort of an example. When I first started as a corporate lawyer, if we had to do a due diligence of a company, we had to travel to that office of that company. Now, if it meant that the company was based outside from where we were practicing, it typically your entire week went in that one assignment only. Because you traveled to that company, spent about 3 to 4 days there, reviewing all the records, collecting all the records, and then came back and drafted a report. Now everything is available online. Virtual data rooms are created, documents are loaded. I don't need to leave my office. I can do that. I can do other things. I can go home in the evening and sleep peacefully. So just a simple example of how technology has changed. Everything is now easily, as I said, accessible and available. You don't really need to. I mean, for what did the COVID era, what it taught us, I mean, for all the negatives, and there were huge amounts of negatives, but one positive was that you don't really need to be in an office. You can do your work from wherever you want to, and so long as you deliver, that's perfectly fine. I mean, that was a huge realization. I mean, we've reached a stage in a technology where I and you can be on the different sides of the city and conduct a perfectly wonderful conversation. So technology is definitely helping. It has cut down on travel time for sure. For a lot of this, even meetings today are held on Zoom and Teams. Clients tell us, why do you want to travel? Let's send a link and join that link. I mean, the Honorable Supreme Court is now conducting proceedings online. The Honorable NCLT is conducting proceedings online. So it's definitely a big boon, and it will continue to evolve. It's just up to us on how to use it. And I think we need to embrace it with both arms, because it will make only our life easier.
Very true. So now, like in your career, which legal tools you have used and what has appealed to you?
So, I mean, as I said, the virtual, I mean, without naming any specific one, there's so many, like, just to give an example, a Microsoft Drive, for instance, a very simple one, but helps me store documents, and look at documents. And there's so many tools where you can put in, you can save information and access that information subsequently. There are some many very good research-related websites. If you're an Indian lawyer, I'm sure most of us have used Manupatra, which has an access to regulations and case laws, or whether it's Supreme Court online. So these are fabulous legal tools. You don't need to no longer need to rely on these big fat all India reporter journals to sort of retrieve it out and retrieve a case out. Now everything is online. So Manupatra, SEC online, and so many numerous tools where you can actually store information and access that information. I mean, a huge help.
Interesting. Now, coming to your journey as an author, you wrote this book, Data Protection, Law and Regulation. So what inspired you to write on this topic, and how has the journey been?
So actually, India, till about last year, did not have a data protection law personal data protection law. While in 2018, the European Union adopted what was popularly called as the GDPR, which sort of created a revolution of data protection regulations all over the world, because people started sort of amending the data protection laws all over the world. And India, then there was a wonderful historic judgment in what is popularly called as the Aadhaar card case. I'm sorry, where the Supreme Court actually said, hang on, India actually needs to have a data protection law because we don't have one. And then, by 2019, 2020, most of us have had our data on our phones, on our laptops, on our computers, and God knows where. I mean, to even simply open an application, you have to enter your details, on your phone. So our data was all over the place, but we did not have any regulation to protect it. The Aadhaar card case was one that sort of I had looked into, and what actually it led to was the formation of a committee under the leadership of Justice Sri Krishna. And that committee came up with an absolutely wonderful report, which led to the formation of the first draft data protection bill in the country. And as a part of some of my assignments, I was sort of looking into these reports, and the report also led to a draft regulation, which sort of made me think, also wanted to have something, that would, associate me with something in law. So at that point of time, just the fact that there was a regulation which was coming in force but was not actually in force, sort of awareness, and very honestly, just the fact that the topic really fascinated me. It was a wonderful experience, honestly, because, as I said, because of that, the urge to write that book, I went through the Justice Sri Krishna report and its various facets, and I looked at various data protection regulations across the world, and it was honestly just a very, very fascinating and a wonderful journey. I just enjoyed doing that, actually.
That's very interesting. So anyone who wants to learn about data protection, Indian laws and regulation, do get hold of a copy, and you will get much more insights. So now, Apurva, my last question will be, in your this professional journey, what advice would you give to aspiring lawyers who are looking to build a successful career in corporate law as well as sports law?
Well, my first advice would be don't restrict yourself. Don't decide that I want to do and do this. Keep yourself open to practicing in as many areas and learning about as many laws and regulations you can. I never honestly, well, corporate law is a large subset. So I was sure that, or I knew that I wanted to do something in corporate law, but I was not clear that I was going to, boil down to one niche area or something like that. So be open to learn, be open to read and adjust. But I think one thing that everyone needs to understand, I think, is that this is a profession that requires you to give a lot of time and effort. So I think have to be ready to give your time and effort in this. And I think you give your time, effort into something if you're passionate about something. If you enjoy doing something, of course, there are going to be good times, bad times. There are going to be times when you say, why the hell am I doing this? I don't like this at all. But largely speaking, I like what I do, touch wood. So you need to be passionate. You need to be ready to give time and effort, and because this is just a vast field. I mean, law anyway is a vast field. You need to be updated, as you yourself rightly said. So be ready to put in a little bit of effort, be ready to give a lot of time, but be ready to be open and learn new things within. Don't, at least when you're starting out, don't restrict yourself to one particular area. Figure out what you like, and hopefully over a period of time, you yourself will be able to take a call and a choice that I want to do it in a particular field.
Thank you for this interesting insights which we received during your professional journey round. So let's go into the next one, personal journey. Let's refresh our memories. So Apurva, how was your childhood?
I think it was a fairly normal childhood, like any other. It was like any other, childhood that people would have. Lucky to be brought up in Pune. I had my schooling was in Pune. I had a wonderful set of friends. With my family, stayed with my family, with my younger brother. So very fond memories. like any other childhood, learned a lot of things. Generally had a good time. So no complaints. Touch wood.
Yeah. So now let's go to your college. You went to which college and what activities you did over there?
Yeah, so I did my law from ILS Law College, Pune, which is a wonderful, wonderful institute, and I did the 5-year law course, which really meant that I was in that college for a very, for a significant amount of time. Yeah, and so I was a part of the cricket team. I played a lot of sports there. Made some very, very good lifelong friends, and generally did all the activities that any college-going student would do. But I think was fairly disciplined enough also to ensure that studies didn't get affected as such. Uh, and yeah, I was from Pune. The college was in Pune. So I had a lot of friends from outside Pune who used to stay in hostels and stuff. So it was a great opportunity meeting them, hosting them. And as I said, a lot of my mornings used to be filled with college and lectures. And because I was a part of the cricket team, invariably the afternoon evenings used to be at cricket practice, and evenings, you just hung around college, met hostel friends or other friends, and had a good time, so to speak.
Very interesting. Now coming to your interests and hobbies, which do you carry from your childhood, your college, or you've developed some new interest?
No, so I'm a huge sports fanatic. That probably is a bit clear right now. So I spend a lot of time reading and reading about sports, particularly cricket and football, or watching sports. So I'm a huge fan of a football club called Liverpool Football Club, and
Mhm.
which is an England-based club. So invariably on weekends when they play, I try and catch most of their games, if not all. I'm growing a bit old in age now, but whenever possible, I still play cricket and football and on a weekend with friends. Not very serious stuff, but I do play around a bit. I like listening and watching sports analysis programs, whether it's on podcast or there's some on TV, television, analyzing sports, analyzing sportsmen. So if I get an opportunity, I like doing that. I like reading as well. Whenever I make it a point to read a little bit most days, but I like reading. I enjoy reading. Not related to work. Of course, work-related work reading is there, but uh, stuff other than law as well. And I like watching movies. If I get a chance, I try and watch a movie. If not in theaters, at least with so many platforms today, most weekend. So that those are some of my hobbies. I have a young daughter, so spending time with her is also something that I really enjoy.
Wonderful, wonderful. Uh, Now let's talk about your travel experience.
So, I till the time I passed out from my law college, I didn't. Travel for me was visiting my cousin's place during vacations, during school days and my college days. That's all. We didn't have these. I think these days people do so much different traveling, different locations, exotic locations, or adventures and stuff like that. My travels mostly during school days were just visiting which was a lot of fun. Something that I really enjoyed, visiting my family, aunts, uncles, or cousins. It's only post that I, passed out and started working that I've had some travels. I've various places that I've traveled. I'm not much of an adventure kind of a person. These days, if I'm traveling, it's invariably on a holiday. I like it to be a bit of a relaxed kind of a vacation, not where I'll be scaling mountains or trees. So those are some of the kind of things that I like doing.
Interesting. Uh, let's talk about your favorite cuisines or foods that you really like to indulge in.
I'm a I'm an Indian at heart. My favorite cuisine is, if I'm given an option, I'll order a butter chicken or a paneer makhan wala with a butter naan. That's my favorite. I have a little bit of a sweet tooth. I need to reduce on that. So any dessert or a sweet dish accompanying that is almost welcome. Thanks to my wife, I do try different cuisines because she likes doing it and I enjoy it. But if it's up to me, I think I will order a makhan wala, whether it's paneer or chicken. That's depends on the mood.
Interesting, interesting. So one question just comes to like to ask you, if not law, then what it would be and why? Uh, this have you thought about in the past कि भाई अगर law नहीं होता तो मैं क्या कर रहा होता?
I
या
think it's
law ही
fairly
है?
clear. No. I would have loved to have been a sportsman. I don't know whether I've been good enough to do that, but if I was given an option, I would have loved to have been a professional sportsman. Even now, sometimes uh, think about it and I say, I wish, but it was not to be. But if I was given an option, I would love to play. I would love to play professional cricket, and if that would have been there. That would have been great.
Interesting. So our last question for your personal journey. Describe Apurva in one line.
Oh, I would like to think that I'm a simple, honest man.
Interesting, interesting. So, friends, now let's have a rapid fire round. So, Apurva, when you answer these questions very quickly and wittily, you will get a surprise gift, which I'll show you.
Sure.
Your favorite sports?
Cricket.
Okay. Your preferred relaxation activity?
Watching cricket.
Cricket. Okay. Your favorite app for staying organized?
Outlook. It has my calendar.
Okay. Your favorite travel place?
London.
Your favorite movie?
Okay. There's so many, but if I had to pick one, Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, the new one.
Okay. And your favorite star?
Oh, if it's anyone, it would have to be favorite star. And he's not really a star, but my favorite sportsman is VVS Lakshman. So I'll put it that. He doesn't have these star vibes to it.
Okay. So you're the winner of this ebook.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
One minute, I'll just shoot.
I can't see that. But...
Yeah. So the title is From Niches to Riches, the importance of choosing a niche for your business. Authored by me, Laina Virani. I'm an author of 12 ebooks. So you selected a niche for being a sports lawyer. So that's why I thought to gift you once you answered. So I'll give you this.
Thank you so much. Really grateful for that.
Book delivered to your doorstep with another gift. So friends,
thank you so much.
It was a lovely conversation having with a lawyer and author. So welcome to the author fraternity. Friends, many insights here shared, and so do listen to this conversation, which will be uploaded on YouTube, the Coffee Corner Show. Subscribe, click on the bell icon. We look forward to another interesting conversation with another guest speaker. We have done over 100 plus episodes with different subject experts over this 4-year journey. So it was a lovely conversation. So stay safe,